What's up, Raiders? It's your boy Groovinator here. Had a hell of a time coming up with a video today because I've had to comb through an endless sea of April Fool's jokes. Some of them by dear friends of mine. Just April Fool's articles everywhere. Enough. Please, God, stop it. Alright? I'm so glad it's no longer April Fool's. I got to a point yesterday where I'm like, yep, no more internet today. Turning it off, walking away, done. Still managed to bang out a video. Some of you watched it. Thank you for those who did. But anyway, this is a topic that I really wanted to dive into. This is one movie that I'm probably the most excited for. And yes, it is a remake, but if everything's going to be a remake, I like for a remake to be something that could have been better and needs to be better. You know what I'm saying? Like when they made It in 2017, they took the mini-series and they made it a better movie. And I really enjoyed that. And they split it into two parts, which I thought was a really good way to do it because we got time to really get to know the characters in their youth so that when we go back and see them again, we'll be connected to them and we'll be curious to see where their stories lie. It gives us something to look forward to. It's very rare that you get excited about a sequel. You have to make the first one count and then leave it in sort of a way to where, okay, we're going to go back and see this again, but we're really excited to see it happen. So this is a story that I'm still trying to get through. Okay, this is a meaty book right here. Okay, this is like trying to read a Bible, but it's really, really good. Okay, and a lot of you may like the movie that came out in 1984. I have a problem with it because as much as I love the production design and the costumes and the way everything looked and the way it was shot, the acting, pacing, and dialogue made it almost impossible to follow. Okay, so I had a hard time watching it. I tried watching it several times. I tried watching it with the narrations. I tried watching it with Cliff Notes. I couldn't figure out what was going on. It was just a mess. There was a lot of like inner monologue scenes going on. You couldn't put it all together. It was, and I've tried watching it again recently, and you know what? It's still a mess. I can't get through it. It's a savage, depressing mess. It's a movie that had a lot of potential, and it could have been even better if it was directed by the original director, but that's another video. I want to save all that information for another video about the other Dune movie that never got made. Some of you may know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to really reveal too much about that right now. But anyway, they picked the absolute perfect director to do a new Dune movie, and I started getting into Dune a lot with the miniseries that was on the Sci-Fi Channel. Like I said, not the Sci-Fi Channel, the Sci-Fi Channel, the good one. And I had to get these off of Amazon. This is actually a German copy, but the print of it is absolutely gorgeous, and it does play in English, but the subtitles are in German. So at some point, I do plan to learn German for a lot of other reasons, but maybe not what you think they are. But yeah, it's just something that I would kind of like to know. But yeah, the subtitles are in German, but that's okay. I still know what's going on. I've seen the original. I have the original on DVD as well. And then Children of Dune, this is awesome here. These movies are really well done in the fact that pacing on them is perfect. The acting, you can understand the story. Everything completely makes sense. And it's done over, it's a mini-series, so everything's played over a week's time, all right? So you understand, when you try to squeeze this whole story into like, a 2-hour movie or less than 2-hour movie, it's a complete mess. Okay. So, they're picking the right guy to direct them because Denis Villeneuve is responsible for these two wonderful movies right here, Arrival and Blade Runner 2049. Especially want to mention Blade Runner 2049 because this movie is criminally underappreciated. All right. You want to talk about, I'm always complaining about new directors coming in and making sequels to movies because they don't know anything about it, and then they try to make their own version of it, and they try to change everything around to fit modern society. Not Denis Villeneuve. No, he went in and made a sequel that totally fits perfectly with the original Blade Runner movie. It's paced perfectly. The acting is incredible. The story is incredible. I can't recommend this movie enough. I went and saw it with my sister on opening day, and nobody was in the theater. Hardly anybody was there. It was depressing, but it was a great movie. I mean, I can't recommend this enough. It's criminally underappreciated, but that and this. When I find out that he's doing a Dune movie, I was just super excited. I'm like, oh my God, they couldn't have picked a better guy to do it. And then, of course, the casting. Oh man, I am so freaking excited about this movie. Let's get into this article and then I'll talk a little bit more about it. The spice must flow. New Dune movie starts shooting. He who controls the spice controls the universe. Principal photography has begun on the newest adaptation of Frank Herbert's epic sci-fi novel Dune. Herbert wrote 6 novels in the series altogether, with Dune, Chilton Book 65 being the first. After his death in 1986, the author's son Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson have co-authored an impressive further 26. The last time someone attempted to bring the story to the big screen came 33 years ago with director David Lynch's film. That vastly underrated movie was an unparalleled masterpiece in production design, but it altered one or two elements of the source material more than some fans liked. Brian Herbert recently tweeted that the cameras have began rolling for the new adaptation. Fans are particularly excited for this movie because the director, Denis Villeneuve, did an incredible job handling the sequel to another sci-fi property that inspires similarly extreme protectiveness from fans, Blade Runner, directing that film in 2017. Despite serious misgivings over whether a Blade Runner sequel could even be worthy of the original, Villeneuve proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the franchise was in the right hands. Absolutely, I just mentioned that. In addition, the recent casting announcements have also met with much approval from Dune's feverish fanbase. Josh Brolin has signed on to play Gurney Halleck, the role previously played by Patrick Stewart. Oscar Isaac will make a formidable Duke Leto Atreides, previously played by Jurgen Prochnow. Jason Momoa will play Duncan Idaho, previously played by Richard Jordan. David Bautista will take on a meaty role of glossy beast Rabban. Javier Bardem will play Stilgar. Stellan Skarsgård will play the delicious role of Baron Harkonnen, and it goes on. It's truly a dream cast. It absolutely is. Doom is being filmed on location in Budapest, Hungary, and Jordan, and is slated for a November 2020 world release. 2020. That's pretty awesome. They did not at all mention the Sci-Fi Channel. It's almost like these movies have been forgotten. I might actually do reviews on these when this movie comes a little bit closer, because these, like I said, I had to chase these down. You can't just go into a store and buy a Dune movie anymore. It's both of these are this one's Australian, this one's German. Okay, you can't get Dune. They're out of print. They don't even exist. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't mention them, because those adaptations were handled very well, but they didn't have the production design strength of the original movie. I mean, a lot of that was like H.R. Giger inspired, and I liked the costumes of the still suits better than they were on the TV series, but they were doing a whole lot with a budget of almost nothing. And unfortunately, being 2019, it kind of shows. Those movies came out in early 2000s, and you do see some of that really early 2000s CG in some spots, and you're thinking, man, if this just had some better special effects, it would just be just that extra But anyway, let's go on. Where did I see this? Okay, Villeneuve has confirmed this adaptation will be split into at least 2 films so that the original story will be preserved, not to cut into a million pieces. That is the part that I'm absolutely the most excited about. I don't want to see this condensed into, a 90-minute shit job, all right? Enough of that, okay? You can make a whole trilogy out of just this one alone, okay? Or at least if you did split this into first 2 movies and then made Children of Dune into the third, you could have like your Lord of the Rings style trilogy. And looks like this has got a pretty big budget on it too. So I'm super excited. This is Denis Villeneuve right here. He's also responsible for Sicario. So if you didn't see Arrival or Blade Runner, definitely check out that. That's another fantastic movie. I don't have it in my collection, but I have seen it. I do like it a lot. This guy handle science fiction the way I want to see it handled. Okay, he's got deep stories. He prioritizes story, pacing, dialogue, and delivery over spectacle. You know what I mean? He makes science fiction that makes you think about things, that makes you feel things. this is the kind of, we need more of these types of guys right here making movies, and then I'll start getting excited and going and seeing them more often. So I hope Dune does very well, because I don't want to see this be something that you get a part 1 and then it flops and then there's no more part 2. That would be completely depressing. But I'm hoping with this cast here, though, that'll carry it enough over the threshold to where we don't have to wait too long for the second one to come out. Hopefully they shoot them all at once and then release them back to back. That would be fantastic. Anyways, what do you guys think about Dune? Are there any other Dune fans in here? Drop a comment down below. Make sure you like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You guys have yourselves a groovy day. This is the Groovinator signing out. Peace.